Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Now if this is your very first time here, my name's FiddlinJonny and it's my Fiddle channel and magic product review. And before I do any magic product review, I always do a quick fiddle tune, or like most of the time. So today I've tried to pick a tune that really sort of fits maybe the essence of today's review. So sit back and see if you can figure this out and what the tune is. All right, there we are. It's my best attempt at We're Off to See the Wizard, because we are dealing with wizard level stuff today as we continue on Tenyo week here with Wish Bag. Now, Wish Bag is exactly what it sounds like. You wish for something and it shows up in the bag. One of the latest releases in 2026 for a Tenyo product. Stick around and we'll get right into this. Hello everyone. I know you've been hearing about this bag that I have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Wish Bag. The Wish Bag is just this sort of amazing bag that I have where, you know, it's an empty bag. But if I wish for something I desire, all I have to do is reach in and grab what I've been thinking about, which is candy. My Skittles, my Trolleys, my Lindt chocolate. Just absolutely delicious. And yet, my bag is empty. But it doesn't have to stay empty for very long, because if I desire something else, all I have to do is think about it, wish for it, and boom, more candy. I think I'm going to become a diabetic here in no time if I keep wishing for candy. Well, the truth is that I can wish for things other than candy if I desire. Like, well, you probably don't know this about me, but I like to cook, and I've been cooking a lot of rice lately. And with my rice, I like a little bit of soy sauce, so I've got my Kikkoman here, which I recently ran out of, and thank goodness for my Wish Bag. Without it, I'd be kind of a mess. So yeah, it's kind of just ridiculous. But you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm just gonna go pop in a movie, turn on some Netflix, and have some popcorn. Wait, but there's more, and candy. Oh my gosh, I love my Wish Bag. All right, let's get right into Wish Bag. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, there's some weird, sorry about whatever the lighting is here today, a little funky. Anyway, we're gonna do Wish Bag, released as part of the 2026 Tenyo product releases. Now, if you don't know what Tenyo is, let me tell you, they are a magic company based out of Japan. They've been releasing these, I think, for decades. And every year they come out with a different number of them, released as part of their new series. And so this week here on the channel is Tenyo week, and today I'm going to do a review of Wish Bag. Folks should also know, like, people love Tenyo products. They're either like big collectors of them and they collect all of them, or they trade them. It's kind of a big deal for folks, and so they love them. But they are kind of kid magic plastic tricks, to be honest. I wouldn't say any of these are really for the working professional, but I know that some working professionals out there, probably, there are exceptions to every rule, and do use these. This might be one of them, in small factors, but one of them. So anyway, enough that babbling. Let's get right into what's the effect. Essentially, you bring out a bag, you show that it's empty, and you tell your audience it's your Wish Bag. Now, what do you do with a Wish Bag? You make a wish, and whatever you wish for, you reach into the bag and you are able to pull it out of that bag. And then show it empty. Wish for something else. Reach in and pull it out. In the scenario that's taught on the tutorial here, it starts off with pulling out candy. Then the next thing you pull out more candy. Then you pull out a bag of popcorn, and then you finally pull out, I think it's a soda, a small can of iced coffee or something like that. So that's what's taught on there. You, of course, can make whatever can fit in this bag. You can make that as part of your wish bag and theme it the way that works for you. All right, that's what the effect is. Pretty darn cool. Let me tell you a story before we go any further. There's a part of me that really sort of, I love this, the effect. And mostly because when I was a kid, my very first real gig, I was 10 years old. I was in 6th grade, and I had maybe 200 people that I was performing for. And I did a wish bag routine where I put something in, pulled some things out of the bag by showing it empty, and then did some vanish and tore up the bag, and whatever I put in the bag had vanished. So it's an effect that I really, really like, because in the version I did, of course I did an appearance and a disappearance, and this is a variation on it. So there's a part in me that deep in my heart really appreciates this sort of effect, because it goes back to my very first time in doing a real gig when I was a kid with this type of effect. But enough of the nostalgia. You're not here for that. You want to know about what are you going to get in this little itty bitty box. Well, since it's a wish bag, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a wish bag. And all you have to do is wish, put your hand in, and it comes out. And that's it. Leave a comment, subscribe. No. There's a method, obviously. But you will get this bag. You will also get this bag of popcorn, which is kind of cool. All right. Which I didn't realize they'd actually include this. But you're also going to get a couple other bits and bobs that I'm not going to go into detail because it would be giving away method. I will say you're going to get double-sided sticky tape. That I can give away. And, you know, it's a pretty reflective box, bag, not box, bag. And so you make it additional, very shiny, reflective stuff that can kind of be breakable sometimes. But what you get seems to be pretty sturdy. You're also going to get these instructions here. And if you're able to zoom in, these are in Japanese. So I know most of my audience is not Japanese speaking, and these instructions are in Japanese. But have no fear, because every Tenyo product has QR codes on the front that allows you to go to a web page that will allow you to download the instructions in a PDF format in English. So that's good news. It also will include a QR code to be able to watch the tutorial. And on the tutorial page, which is hosted on the Tenyo site, it has it in Japanese, one version, and then it has it in the exact same video with English voiceover on it. So that's what you're gonna get. The tutorial in this one is, I think it's like 7 minutes and 59 seconds or 58 seconds. So basically it's an 8-minute video for this tutorial that you're going to get. I should, it's 7 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact. I should know what is not included. So in the teaser for it shows you being able to pull out candy. Candy not included. Soda can not included. So you can, which I think is actually a good thing, provide whatever you really want inside the bag to theme it for whatever works best for you. But I want to make sure to let you know those things are not included. How are the instructions? The instructions are incredibly average. It's only 8 minutes long. They always basically show you what do you get, how do you assemble it, method, and then a presentation of it, or some variation of order of that. And that's exactly what they do in the 8 minutes on this tutorial. I would say, however, this tutorial might be my favorite tutorial of the Tenyo products that I purchased this year. And I liked it because it was just a smidge more detail, and I liked in particular that it gave a side view of the bag as if there was no side here. So you could see into the bag and allowed you to, they spoke to how things are angled, how you should put things in the bag, that sort of stuff. It was a level of detail that was shot in a way that I thought was exactly the way it should be shot. So that was good. But overall, they're average. They're not amazing. But it's so simple ultimately that it doesn't really matter that it's only 8 minutes in length. So we should talk about the props or the gimmicks, whichever you want to call them. This bag here, sturdy. It is heavier than your, or more durable than your normal brown paper bag that you might get at your local grocery store. It is metallic on the inside. It's pretty sturdy, to be honest. It seems like to me like it should last an awful lot of performances. So it feels good and appropriate for the price range and should last for a good long time. You're also going to get this popcorn, and there may be some gimmickry going on with this popcorn bag. So just know that, and again, the piece associated with this to keep in mind, things are breakable, so when you're assembling, just be careful. While they seem pretty durable, you have to be reasonable to know that like you can't put too much pressure on certain things. You'll know what I mean if you own it. Okay, so there's a little bit of assembly, one small minute thing, and this is nitpicky on the assembly. I mentioned the double-sided tape earlier, so they provided the 2 pieces of double-sided tape, and you just need to adhere something that they provide for you. I could not get, for the life of me, it to unstick on both sides. I could get on one side, could not get it to unstick on the other side. And at a certain point I thought, why am I putzing with their double-sided tape? I've got my own double-sided tape that works perfect for me and easy. But I wanted to hold the fidelity of their product and actually see, so I can do the review for you. And that part of the review, once I was able to get it done, it's fine. It's double-sided tape, for goodness sakes. But I had a hard time. If you have a hard time, just use your own double-sided tape. It's nothing magic about the tape. It's just double-sided tape. Okay, what else do we want to look at here? As it's related to the gimmick, I think that's it for the gimmick. Skill level. So technically this is a beginner level effect. But I would say, and it's my personal opinion, not based on anything other than my opinion, that I think if you're under 14, maybe not. It's probably a 13 or 14-year-old and up. I probably wouldn't go below that, mostly because there's a certain level of just understanding like how to hold the bag and presentation stuff that just feels like it's probably more appropriate for someone who's 13 or 14 and up. Below that, sure, you could do it, super beginner level. But if you are a young person and thinking about purchasing it, keep that in mind. If you're 13 or 14 and older, yeah, you're fine. You can definitely perform it. And there's no, well, I wouldn't say there's no, it's kind of knacky a little bit when it goes to how you display this bag and displaying it as empty. In my humble opinion, it just feels knacky. And you really do have to make sure before you sort of, after you pull something out and you go to show that it's empty, you really sort of have to double check and look in the bag and make sure you've got everything just right to show it as empty. So keep that in mind. It's far from being like not having to think about it. You definitely have to think about it. You have to think about it every single time and pay attention to it. I'll put up a demo. I might even flash in the demo. I don't know. I hope not. But I did tape something. I'll put it up for you at the very end. But that's the one piece where it's like, despite it being beginner, it's a little more knacky than you might think. All right, let's talk about pros and cons, things I wish I'd known before, or if I were you on the other side of this screen. I think I've mentioned probably most things already, and I won't repeat myself. I would say that one of the nice things is that you end clean. You can hand out the bag to your spectators. There's nothing to find in the bag when you're all done. That's really good. I don't think this is, I was going to say something you would use in a walk-around situation, but I don't think any really professional magician is probably going to be using this, with some exceptions. I think maybe if I was a kid magician, this might work in some situation performing for kids, but you will know based upon who your audience is and effects and if this will work for you or not. So I think of it as more something for youth and for hobbyists. And for someone like myself, I have a little shelf in my living room with Tenyo products, and when folks come over and they say, hey, what's that? Then I do a little Tenyo presentation for them. And I might just have that sit next to the other plastic Tenyo products that I have, and if folks ask, I would have it set up and ready to go. Those are the types of scenarios I think where it works really well, quite honestly. All right, let's talk about the cost. Depends a little bit where you purchase it, but basically it's somewhere between $15 and $16, depending on which retailer you go to. Don't spend more than $16 on this. I think some retailers have it marked higher. I would keep it right around $15 or $16. That is the sweet spot for it. All right, that's it overall. Look, here's the reality, and don't go, I have a little message for y'all. It holds a kind of a sweet spot in my heart because it goes back to when I was a kid and performed my very first magic show, and I did do a wish bag style effect with an appearance into vanish. So I kind of like this sort of effect, and it does do what it says and as advertised. So, and if you like the Tenyo series, you'll appreciate this as part of the addition to your collection. Now, before you go, I do want to say thanks to all of you magicians out there. Whatever level you're at, wherever you're at in your journey, magicians make a difference in the world. They bring joy to people, they bring wonderment to people, they bring puzzlement to people. It also creates people like to strive to, I think, want to do things that seem impossible because you've just performed something that seemed impossible to them. So that's a great thing to be able to bring into the world, and at this time, I think, you know, there's a lot of craziness in the world, and what magicians bring is really fantastic. So pat yourself on the back. Give yourself some credit. Don't put yourself down. Sometimes think, oh, I wish I was better at that double lift, or I wish I could do this coin thing. Don't worry about it. It all comes in time. Stick with it, and what you are doing is already amazing. And thank you for being amazing doing magic. All right, that's it. If you have not hit that like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? And you know, if you hit that like button, it helps with the weather where I live so I can get better weather. So please hit that. I can tell it's better. Oh, that shiny's gone. So hit the like and subscribe button. Very much appreciated. Leave a comment down below. Leave your thoughts on everything. And that's it. I'm FiddlinJonny. And remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.